This is the video feed from my webcam when I'm working normally in my office.
And this is the view from my webcam following a few key principles that I'm going to be talking about in this video. It really doesn't take much to get a dramatically better result, and this can have a huge impact on how you come across during a live online event. It's probably a given that any live event in the next few months has been cancelled or postponed. But I think there's a real opportunity to shift these types of live events to online events instead of canceling them completely. So I wanted to make a video talking about some AV considerations and guidelines for streaming a live online event. Every live event is going to be a bit different, and in some cases having a production company there to help stream your live event could really be a beneficial thing. For example, any kind of event where you have multiple speakers or where what you're showing your audience is maybe hard to capture, say a class on woodworking or a course on making jewelry. Having a production company stream that for you could really help improve the quality of the event for your audience. But for simpler events, for example, having one presenter talking to an audience live, similar fashion to this video here, the result that you'll get on your own, which is exactly the setup I have, I'm filming this through a webcam, following the same guidelines that I'm going to be talking about in this video. The benefit to having a production company is more having somebody there in case something goes wrong. The image quality of a live stream through a professional video camera instead of a webcam, if I had that set up side by side right now, would be really marginal. But you have someone there in case something goes wrong, because things do go wrong. Just a few days ago, I was talking about this exact same topic on a live webinar. And when I was talking about how important it is to have good quality audio for your live event, my audio was coming through choppy to the event participants, unfortunately, and a bit ironically. And that was nothing to do with anything I could have changed on my end. It was just a network issue. So if you had a production company there in that situation, they would catch that and hopefully be able to do something about it. But that's the only real advantage to having a production company for a more simple event. Really, the main idea behind this whole video is that your audio and your video for a live event needs to be good enough it doesn't distract the audience from what you're there to talk about. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it certainly doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to not be distracting. Good audio is by far the most important thing. I would say having good audio is much more important than good video, and I would even say that having no video is a better option than having bad video. If you have no video, again, it's not the most fancy approach to a live event, but at least you're getting the message across and you're not distracting your audience. So let's talk about what you need to do to get good audio for a live online event. You can see here I'm wearing a lavalier mic, and I highly recommend you pick up one of these if you're streaming a live online event. The big advantage of this type of mic over what you have built into your computer is that it collects sound from a much smaller radius, so it'll eliminate a lot of background noise.
This is the video feed from my webcam when I'm working normally in my office.
And this is the view from my webcam following a few key principles that I'm going to be talking about in this video. You're going to need a lav mic that can plug into your computer's USB port. I've got a couple images up on the screen here. There's wired and wireless options, but I would really say that unless you need the wireless option because you're going to be walking around or moving away from the camera or webcam, that you go for the wired option, simply because there's less that can go wrong. You don't have to worry about interference, and you don't have to worry about batteries running out during your event. You want to clip the mic approximately 6 inches below the presenter's mouth. It clips on nicely to a shirt or a jacket, and make sure it's pointing up at the presenter. It's really important that if you're using a lav mic, you remember not to during your presentation. Next, let's talk about the environment that you're streaming your live event from and some steps you can take to make sure that you get good quality audio by controlling the environment. It's important to eliminate background noise as much as possible. Heaters, air conditioning, and fans are big sources of background noise that you want to get rid of if you can. There's a game that we often play in video production where if we're on location filming an interview, we'll crank the heat up while we're setting up and then turn it off while we're filming. So it might take a bit of preparation and kind of advanced planning if you're in an environment where you have noisy air conditioning or heating. If you're in a small office or room, sometimes you can end up with really tinny or echoey audio. I like to get these Amazon moving blankets and hang them up on the walls. I've got them on either side of me here. And also by putting down a rug, you can really reduce that kind of tinny sound. That'll make your audio feed a lot clearer and more pleasant to listen to for your audience. If you're in an environment with uncontrolled sources of background noise, for example, I'm stuck at home and I've got a dog who sometimes likes to bark, and I can't really do anything about that if he decides to bark in the middle of a live event. But you can take some steps that'll eliminate how big of an impact an interruption that'll be. What I like to do is I'll put pillows and other dampening around the door of my office, and that'll really cut down on how much of that noise actually makes it into the room and how big of an interruption that'll be if it does happen during a live event. Next, let's talk about some video guidelines for streaming a live event. Even though you probably own a device that has a webcam built in, I would highly recommend using an external USB webcam to stream your live event. And there's a few reasons for this. First of all, by moving that webcam off of your device, it'll make it much easier to position it exactly where you need it to be to get good framing. Position the webcam so that it's eye height and level. You can mount it on a tripod or one of these kind of gooseneck adapters to help with the positioning to get it exactly where you need it. The other advantage of using an external webcam instead of the one built into your device is you've got this kind of big, obvious thing to remember to look at. If you're using the webcam on your device, it's really easy to kind of forget it's there because you're so used to seeing it and sort of drift off and start looking at your screen. I have a pretty wide screen here in front of my webcam, and if I look down at the corners and up at the corners, I'm kind of looking around. That's not a great look, especially for a live video stream. So by moving the webcam off of your device, it gives you something to look at to remember to talk to your audience instead of looking at a screen. Let's talk about lighting. If you don't have good lighting for your live online event, your video could be so bad that it's distracting your audience and you'd be better not having any video at all. But with a single LED panel light like this one here, you can really improve the look of your video. That's my setup right now. I just have one of these LED panel lights behind my webcam, and it takes my video from this to this. So it's a huge improvement, and it comes from just one piece of equipment that's relatively inexpensive and very easy to use and set up. You also want to consider uncontrolled light sources. If you've got windows in the environment that you're going to be streaming from, the light through those windows can really change throughout the day. So everything might look good when you set it up, but then when your event starts, you've got this beam of light making half your face way too bright and the rest look way too dark. So if you have enough light on your own, without the windows, consider blocking out those windows or closing the blinds. Choose a background for your video that's not distracting. My background here, I think it's fine for this kind of thing, but it could be distracting in some cases. For example, if I was delivering a live event where I'm talking about something technical, I might not want my audience distracted by trying to figure out what books I read and then judging my book choices. So in some situations, it might be better to just have a really simple, plain background. You could get a black bed sheet really cheap from any source and just hang that up in the background. Again, it might not look as fancy, but simple is safe. It's not distracting, and that's what matters. If you're live streaming your event from a small room or office, you can shoot into the corner of the room to add a bit more depth between the background and your subject. That depth is another great way to make your video less distracting to your audience. So the things I talked about in this video probably seem pretty basic, but honestly, they're effective. I think it's important as we transition to online events to make sure that we're coming across as professionally as possible. And these tips are a great way to do that, to ensure that you can confidently deliver your message to your audience. If you're not watching this video on my website, follow this link here, and that'll take you to a web page where there's specific links to all the gear that I've recommended throughout this video. Thanks for watching, I hope this helped, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.